So in this recipe, my goal is to be able to make a delicious chocolatey and creamy hot chocolate that I can pour latte art on. The goal of the recipe is similar to the last video, which is to emphasize that you don't have to make coffee in order to make latte art. I also want to revise one of my earlier videos to give it an update based on the knowledge I learned along the way. I'll break the explanation of this recipe into 3 parts. The first is the chocolate. Since I'm trying to make this as chocolatey as possible, I use 70% dark chocolate callets. I chose 70% dark chocolate as it gives a rich taste, which I prefer. It's not a must. You can replace it with milk chocolate with lower percentages, or even dark chocolate with more cocoa content. It's solely just a matter of choice. I used callets in this recipe as they are the easiest to work with. They melt really easily. You can also use other forms of chocolates, such as bars for example, but do note that they are harder to melt. Chocolate chips are not recommended because they are very tough to melt. To further enhance the chocolate taste, I'm also going to add Dutch processed cocoa powder to the recipe. The powder will bring additional flavors you normally wouldn't get with the callets, but it's not mandatory, you can omit it if you want to. For the milk, I'm using fresh whole milk. This is to provide the creaminess and latte art ability. Feel free to use a lower fat content milk or even water, but you will lose the creaminess and latte art. For this recipe, you want to heat the milk to about 60 degrees Celsius. This temperature gives the best taste. The final components are the spices. In this recipe, I'm using cinnamon. It is readily available, and with the right amount, it does not overpower the chocolate. You can replace or add it with cloves, vanilla extract, coffee, etc. I don't put them in this recipe because I'm not a big fan of them, but you certainly can. Okay, let's begin with the recipe. First, drop 20 grams of callets into a cooking container. I found 20 grams to be the most balanced. Then it's the Dutch processed cocoa powder. I'm not using a lot of it, only 5 grams. Next we have 2 pinches of cinnamon. To help with the melting process, I'm going to add 40 grams of the heated milk into the mix. Mix all of them together above medium heat. Stir quickly to avoid burning until everything dissolves nicely. Turn off the heat and you should have a paste that looks something like this. You want to transfer it into a latte art cup. It will be difficult to transfer all of it, but just try your best. Then onto the paste, I'm going to add some milk. The amount depends on the thickness of the paste. The goal is to achieve an espresso-like consistency. I'll show you how it looks like after this. Then we stir again. This is about the right consistency. If it's too thick, you can add more milk. Then we come to the final step, which is making the latte art. I'm using a French press, but you can use anything you have. If you are curious on how to do this, I have a tutorial on my channel. Well, this is a pretty messy latte art, but I'm sure you can do better. This concludes the recipe. I hope you can learn something from my video. I'm pretty sure there is still room for improvement, so please experiment. Until next time, see you on the next video.